Bluetooth pairing. Bluetooth connected. What makes us happy? Unique moments, exciting adventures.
makes me feel invention. And if I had a choice, I if I had a chance to catch exceeding up the space between us, exceeding up it's filling up the truth, it's turning away, let itself out.
Caleb Crater, hello. Frank Taku, I'm just drawing comic pages for my own story. Purple Haze, how's it going?
He is super anxious to get a copy.
Kutlugtikin. Hello. I'm not sure how to pronounce that username of yours, but hello. How are you? Thank you.
Switch to TurboTax. File free now by 228. All 100% free. Now this is Taxes. My daughter's in ballet.
And you need to start a band, and you don't know what that means.
Exactly.
I'm doing good. Just working on some comic pages. Galaxy Panels, hello, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, I'm listening to Blade, not watching it, but you know exactly what the audio you're hearing is. It's just a YouTube mix of stuff, you know, where it picks out what it thinks you want to hear based on past preferences, and this just happens to have come up. It's a pretty iconic song. I had never heard anything like it the first time I saw Blade. I'm like, what the hell is this? How detailed do I get with layouts? I mean, I've kind of changed my process around significantly over the years. But the way that I do it now that I've kind of settled into, God, I'm trying to think if I got anything to show for an example. Give me 2 seconds here. Let me see if I can dig up something to show. Whoops. Sorry, I haven't forgotten you there, Galaxy Panels. I'm just trying to flip through some stuff to show an example. So, in terms of how far I get detailed on my layouts, I mean, the way I do it kind of in a couple different stages. I first do things like this, where I lay out the basic story the way I want to tell it on little paper first, to figure out kind of the basic panels and storytelling. So I put it on these things and get like the rough sketches. And then I take and go to, this is a printer paper, but it's 11 by 17. and I do the blue pencil on this. And then when I get done, I light box it onto a final piece of Bristol board so I can have clean pencils. Like an example of that, like here's like these are all like pinups and covers and stuff, but this is the blue line pencil for one drawing. So I take and light box it, and then I've inked this one. So I take and go from this to this. Another example is there's another blue line drawing, and when I light box it, I end up with pencils like this. Or similarly, there's a shot there, the blue line pencil, and then the finished pencil. And then I end up with drawings that are like, you know, that's how I finish them up. These things. So that's kind of my process, but I do it in, like I was saying, if I can get back to my original. Yeah. Yeah, I figure it out small first and then move on to bigger ones. And like this one, I have this small panel across the top and then this establishing shot here. And then originally I was just going to have this one panel at the bottom. And then on the next page, I was going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 panels. But I decided to move this top panel here down next to this one, which is what we see here. So I make decisions on the fly. Once I get onto the big paper, I start seeing it a little bit differently than the little ones and just start piecing it together and whatever I think works best. And hopefully it works.
Get it done, isn't it?
No, Galaxy Pixels. I've never worked professionally for anybody anywhere ever. I'm just a guy who likes to draw and tries to do as good as he can. Shotgun Scream, how are you? No, I appreciate it, Galaxy Panels. I do all right, but no, I have never worked professionally for anybody. You know, and I've stopped pursuing that or worrying about that. I'm like, I'm just gonna make my own stuff for me. I'm getting too old, and it's just time to like, I'm just gonna make my own stuff. And I may not be that great, I may not be perfect, but I would just rather make my own stuff and tell my own stories while I can, rather than like maybe Marvel will call me or I could get a book at Image. Like I don't care about that anymore. It's old news. Don't care. Time to make my own stuff. But thank you. You're very kind. I appreciate that. Where'd you get the idea that maybe I worked on Backlash? Like, where did that kind of come from? A guy I'm working with, an inker, he worked on Brett Booth on Backlash. Chuck Gibson, he's done that, and he's working with me. He kind of was retired for a while and wanted to get back into it a bit, and we kind of hooked up, and here we are. Yeah, we trying to keep Norton's humble around, yeah. I do my best. I hope I don't ever cross that line. I don't want to lose the humbleness. Addie, I will never guess. I will probably never guess. Let me guess. I don't know. It could literally be anything on the planet. So tell me, what did you do, Addie? You watched Independence Day for the first time in 3 years. I watched that show in the theaters when it came out. It was like, what, 94? I was in high school. It's just a reminder of how old I am. It's one of those movies that's like kind of horrible, but it's also just kind of insanely awesome and fun. And it's just always a good time. You're an old cookie. You're a very young old cookie, but we like it. Jaro. Well, I've been needing to and meaning to and trying to get back to like getting the momentum of drawing the pages for my comic. And I've been kind of stumped for a long stretch. But it's started to come together in my head of what and how I want it to do. And so I got to get back into the method that I was doing when I was working on my fan comic last year, where I was just blasting through pages. So I did a bunch of layouts, and I'm just going to start doing the rough full-size pencils and just get pages in progress. And once I get going like that, I tend to work pretty fast. So I'm kind of feeling it for the first time in a while. Kind of excited to get this next issue going. I got all these ridiculous ideas for it. I don't want to have it in production. So when I do the crowdfunder for the first one, when Chuck gets the 8 pages inked, kind of be like, and I got the next one ready to go. I mean, I hope so. I've had all these ideas for this book, and I know all these like scenes and the basic place it's going to go, but it's getting it going that's stumped me. And I've actually had a couple of false starts, and I kind of have the luxury of being able to just pause and wait until it hits me just right, rather than force it. And I think I might have cracked it. I'm hopeful. We'll see. Take it from me. Yes, I must. What's this? You know what, Addie? When I was younger, I used to record myself just randomly verbalizing my thoughts. And then I'd play them back. And I kind of wish I still had those cassette tapes. I have some, but I don't know if I have a whole pile of cassette tapes out in my storage. And because I used to just like record audio from TVs and movies, or record music and just make my own little tapes of mixed stuff. But sometimes I would record myself just talking my thoughts just cause. And I don't know if I have those anymore. I should actually dig into them. Cryus isn't here. Chris isn't here. Is that what that is? Well, so I mean, Chris isn't here. It's kind of you frame that question kind of odd. You're asking the wrong thing in the wrong way. You're asking, did I watch a video to learn how to draw? And I know that's just kind of like a broad brushing what you were saying, but you learn to draw by drawing. And I know you know that. I mean, I know that's understood, but no, there's not a specific video that I watch. You just have to sit down and just like, if you want to do this, you just have to sit down and do it. And you have to understand that you will suck at first. But to a lot of other people, you'll probably look amazing because they can't do it. But you just have to keep working at it. But of course, I'm always looking at artists that I respect and I enjoy and seeing what they do and how they do it. And yes, you can find videos of artists drawing and you can learn from them for sure, but there's no one video. It's not like that. It's just literally, you can watch all the videos you want, but you got to just sit down and do it, right? It's like you can't watch videos to become a better basketball player. You just have to like actually get out there on the court and play. If you want to hoop it up. Chuck, there is a trick. It's just AI, right? Just get on a computer and tell them to do it. Tell it to do it. Chris isn't here yet. You know, I'm just asking. You're an artist too, and you're asking because I was wondering what did you do to learn muscle and skeleton anatomy. So, I mean, yeah, it's just the practicing and trying and attempting, and my basic figure structure that I do is still rooted in the method that I learned from the How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, the basic kind of stick figure construction and then building shapes around that. And I think most comic book type artists that do figure drawing do a version that's mostly similar to that way. But anyway, I didn't mean that in like in a negative connotation or a context, but it's just constantly looking and then trying and trying again and trying some more, and eventually you start getting closer to what you want. Addie, trial and error means failing successfully. Yeah. How you doing, Chuck? All these pages you've been sending, man, have just been like phenomenal at every step. I'm sure you're probably anxious to get done with it and just be able to like fucking set it aside and be like, God damn it, I'm done. You're wondering if all comic books like to exaggerate muscles. I mean, comic books don't have to be drawn any one way. You can have hyper insane exaggeration, and you can have photorealistic perfection, and everywhere in between. There's no real limit. It's just whatever you want in terms of exaggeration, and it just depends on if it kind of clicks with an audience, if they like it. You know, there's everything possible. I like to lean towards the exaggerated side of realism, if that makes any sense. Still traditional. Tell that to Angel. Chuck, very ready to be done. But I'm always sick of what I get it. You're like, oh my God, I've been staring at this thing for long enough. I am ready to just sit down and do something else. I get it. But yeah, everything you've been sending me, Chuck, has just been freaking fantastic. Steel tradition art. What do you mean by tell that to Angel Medina? I haven't seen that guy's work in a long time. So I'm not even sure what it looks like anymore. You needed to ask this because you didn't really have any adults that would help answer illustration questions. Yeah, well, again, if we're talking comics, it just depends on how you want to draw and what kind of story you want to tell. It's kind of open to anything. Just depends on what your interest is and what you want to do. Like, what do you want to do with this potential art skill, and where do you want to take it? So I can kind of speak on the comic book end of it as I like to refer to myself, enthusiastic amateur. Yeah, see, Chuck, you haven't seen Angel work on anything since the Kiss. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm sitting here going through my mind trying to remember what the last thing I saw him do. Like, I remember he did that Adam Warlock book, that the Infinity Watch, and then I was like, I'm pretty sure he did stuff for McFarlane, and maybe that's what I'm thinking of, the Kiss stuff. But he was one of those guys that just moved on. Is like, I got better things to do. I can make better money elsewhere. Oh, he does mostly commissions. That's interesting. I mean, hell, if you can get to that point and just get people just to pay you money to do drawings. I was going to live stream last night. In fact, I was all set up to do it. But just before I got going, I noticed that David Finch was on doing his portfolio reviews of people. And so I thought I'd stop in there and just kind of listen in. And I ended up listening in for like a hour or so, and they had that Daniel Gonzalez, that friend of the channel, and he's part of the Discord, and I reviewed his book. This book right here, this fella, he got his work reviewed by David Finch, and Finch was extremely complimentary to him. He was like, this is very advanced. It's really interesting. It's very stylistic and very, very good. And then they asked how old he was, and he was like, I'm 20. And they're like, God damn, you're so young. You're going to be so good. So, yeah, I forego doing my own live stream so I could listen to Finch review other people's work. And they went through a lot of stuff, and they had some really amazing artists show their work. I missed it. I missed the first like hour or so. So I'm actually going to go back and rewatch and see some of the other artists' work that got showcased on there. But that's pretty neat of Finch to be willing to do that. Really neat guy. Right, Steel. Yeah, they said they're going to keep going because they had so many. Yeah, Chuck. Yeah, you've mentioned that, and that makes perfect sense. Like, companies just won't pay. Yeah, the companies won't pay. So it's like, how do they expect to get really good artists if they're not going to pay? But I mean, but I don't know if they just don't have the money. I don't know. Steel Tradition Art, the second to last guy, got called a dork. Did he say something? Did he get kind of goofy with Finch or something like that? Or I'm gonna have to. I'm definitely gonna have to go pull that up and watch it again. Pretty certain I missed that. Yeah, Chuck, your limited experiences with Finch. He's been very pleasant. He seems like such a nice, genuine dude. And isn't that just great to hear about a guy who you really like, and everything you see about him, he seems just like a solid human being? Yeah, that's awesome to hear. I haven't really heard anybody ever say anything otherwise. Chuck, have you met him in person at all? Or has it just been like maybe some online crisscrossing? Yeah, Chuck, the game plan for artists these days is to get noticed at Marvel and DC and hope the audience will follow you to your own book. I mean, yeah, that would make sense to me. I don't know, especially with the connectivity of social media and stuff like that.
always waiting. Never have to find me. So shift.
Oh shit, yeah. Top Cow shared studio space with Wildstorm early on, and Dave and I rode together to go to your first San Diego Comic Con. That's awesome. Steel, yeah, I watched. There was that guy who showed up, and he had already been published. He was showing pages, and then he showed the book that he was already published in. I did think that that was kind of weird that somebody who's been published by a company. I mean, everyone would still want to get their work looked at, but you'd think that it would be kind of a let's reserve this for people who aren't published so they can get their work looked at. Um, you know. Mello, hello, man. Chuck, you saw his samples he sent to Mark when they came in. People were talking about he was clearly so good to start. Mr. Mello, man, you have been cranking out some art, and it has been looking so good. That Black Panther looked amazing, and then I don't know if I'm supposed to know who the character was. That like anime looking guy. His name is Guts from a manga called Berserk. Okay, I've heard of Berserk, of course. Heard a lot of people talk a lot of good stuff about it, but I've never seen it. It looked great, man. Very clean. Are you liking the blue pencil? It seems like you're using it pretty exclusively and getting comfortable with it. Is it something that you're deciding was worth your time? Mello, you're loving the damn blue pencil? Yeah, I've become such a fan of it. Obviously, it's all I use exclusively to do all my preliminary drawings. Chuck, you wish Coley Race made a light blue pencil that was worth having? Oh, I gotcha. They make one, but it's so light you can't really use it. Yeah, I just dig these ones for what's working for me. I feel like I've stumbled upon a way of working that's finally working the way that I've always kind of wanted it to. And a lot of that's basically because I was trying to do my best stuff because I was working with Chuck on different things. So I'm like, I got to do the best I can. What can I come up with? But kind of fallen into a pattern that I think works for me. Yeah, mellow. It feels great on smooth Bristol. Yeah, that's what I use. I'm always on the smooth. I don't usually get the vellum. Um, Chuck, you like your mechanical colored leads? Um, Chris isn't here. So I buy these blue pencils like this from Amazon. It's been a minute since I've done it because last time I ordered them, I ordered like 5 of these boxes and they come with a whole bunch in them. But yeah, Prismacolor, Kohl Erase. It's just blue. But I order these from Amazon and they're not very expensive for, I mean, I guess it depends on what a person might consider expensive, but uni colored leads, mint blue. I don't even know if I've even heard of such a thing as mint blue. But yeah, Chris isn't here. I recommended to the fella in the chat, Mr. Mello, and he's been on his channel, been using them, and yeah, I shouted him out. I'm like, they work for me. It depends on how a person likes to work, but these ones are been rocking my boat. Addy, fraud of a color. Yeah, literally never heard of. So they asking, are they easy to erase? So I've never really farted around with regular color pencils too much myself, but my understanding and experience is that regular colored pencils don't or aren't made to erase. You can though, but yeah, Chuck says the uni leads erase pretty cleanly. But with these ones, like yeah, you can lay down a really light lead or a really dark one, but then you can come back on and it pulls off. But will it erase completely? No. At least I've never seen it. But by the time I have done blue pencil on the finished Bristol board and then inked over that. And by the time I got the black ink on there and erased the blue, it's so faded against the black ink. I kind of don't even notice it. And then when you scan it and clean it up, you could get rid of it like that. So yeah, Mellow, I would love to see that one, man. Yeah, there's Chuck. He's saying for his, it erases to the point where you don't care. Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm looking for me. Yeah, these things smudge. I mean, I could sit here and like, if you could see, you know, it smudges, but to me, it's a lot cleaner and nicer than like a soft lead pencil. I don't like soft lead and that smudges and it gets everywhere. And again, this blue pencil is pretty easy to just clean up. It's kind of like a regular pencil, but soft lead pencils that smudge so easy drive me nuts. And these ones are smudgeable, yes, but they're much cleaner to for me as far as these ones. Omer, what's up, man? I saw you check in, but then I got lost in everyone commenting and stuff. Um, F. Shanjaffer 97A, do you prefer pens or fine liners when inking? Or dip pens? I would prefer like dip pens if I was any good at it, but I'm not. And so it makes me angry. So I usually end up using just pens anymore, but I wish I could master the dip pens, but it's just too much. Yeah, that's Kill Snap. That's him right there. Yeah, the kind of lines you can pull out of like a Hunt 102 or any varying one. I feel like there's nothing that gets the same kind of ink line if you really know what you're doing, and that's not me. I have farted around with them quite a bit. I mean, I have them sitting right next to me, and I do use them. Like I have these, but on occasion, by sheer luck, I'll throw a line with it and catch a few lines that looks exactly like what I've wanted. But then when I want to force that to happen, not just randomly at just random chance, when want to make it work, it never does it the same. And I know it's just a matter of practice and training, but oh my God, is it frustrating. Yeah, see, there you go. Everyone listen to Chuck. This is a man who's done it professionally. It's not just the pens. You have to have the right nib, the right ink, the right paper. Then, if you know how to use the quill, you'll get great results. But that's a lot of ifs. So there you go. That's from a guy who's done it, used it, and knows exactly what he's talking about. It's extremely aggravating. Then you see, like, there's this video that I watched Scott Williams put up using a brush years ago, and it was just so fascinating how damn good it was. There's a video of Jonathan Galapian inking an owl from uh, Greg Capullo. It's just so insanely beautiful. Or I watch what's that guy's inker Live say ink on Instagram. He's got that Hunt 102 and he's doing these amazing, perfect little flicks of lines. I'm like, God, how do these guys? It's so good. So good. Addy, too many ifs. Give me a feather of a bald eagle and some black Sharpie. Sharpie ink. Sharpie is garbage. Mello, you ink the Black Panther right over the blue. Yeah, you can ink right over the blue. I've done that, like I was saying, on Bristol board. I've gone, I'll when I've done blue pencil on the final Bristol board and inked right over it. I've always tried to remember to take my eraser and do a light kind of erase over it to pull up most of the lead. But it inks right over it. I've never had a struggle. Got to treat inking like a martial art. Todd, what's up, my dude? Steele, you can't ink to save Rob Liefeld. Omer, you've been using a dip pen lately because you got a huge bottle of ink. You just might as well burn it up. Sometimes ink, when you let it sit around for too long, it just kind of thickens up and becomes a sludge. And then it's like, not worth it. So I try to like not open my bottle of ink until I know I'm going to start doing a lot of inking. I don't want it to sit around for too long. I guess, I don't know, if you can like add some water to it to thin it, to like help thin it down a bit, but it's never quite the same once it sits for a bit and becomes a thicker sludge. Yeah, Chuck, you can ink right over blue as long as it's the Kohler race. Most other colored pencils are waxy. Yeah, yeah.
Meet the Agilent Ultra family of HPLC colors, featuring ultra inert.
Okay, not water. Window cleaner with ammonia. Oh, I should have asked you this a long time ago, Chuck. Window cleaner with ammonia, just a couple drops and stir it around. Hey, we're all learning here. Well, now I know. And where does anyone even learn that? That's awesome. Ober, your ink was a bit smelly. Mello, you just watched Steve Rude squirt some Windex into his inks. That's so crazy. I've never heard that. Oh, God, I've learned some tonight. This is great. Chuck has probably gone through 3 nuclear accidents to figure that out. Chuck used to refill those Pitt pens with Kohinoor Universal Ink, and then if it clogged up, he dropped some window cleaner in the pen. Masuma Fatima said, "Yo, bro, I will donate you $100 for every people in this stream. There's 19. I wish. I wish there were wealthy enough people that were that generous. It's a nice sentiment. You're very kind." Addy, in the process, he figured out how to split the atom somehow. Could be. Chuck, you'll appreciate this. I randomly, sort of subject change. I ordered from online a couple of Marvel Essential volumes. And I asked the guy I was ordering from, because they're X Factor. I think it's volume 3 and 5. And what I really wanted specifically was to see Whilce Portacio's X Factor run in black and white. And I asked the motherfucker that I ordered them from, are these things black and white on the inside? Are they colored pages that are just reprinted in black and white? And he told me that they are just black and white. And he sent me some pictures of volume 3, which is black and white. But volume 5 is all the colored pages just in its gray tone. I was so pissed. I was so cheesed off, because I really, really, really wanted to see the X Factor Portacio with Scott Williams inking or whoever else was working with them. Oh, I'm like that. I mean, I don't know if the guy lied, because he sent me, again, the art pages from the one book. And it has a bunch of Walt Simonson, and it has a couple of great Mark Silvestri issues of Uncanny X-Men, because it's the Inferno saga. Oh, Art T Bear doing that magic with potassium. Okay. Yeah, Chuck, I know. I thought about it, but I asked the guy and he said, and he did send pictures. So I'm like, all right. Um, I believe him. But yeah, and I know, and that's why I bring it up, Chuck, because I know that you said you've kind of sworn off those books for that exact reason. So yeah, it's just yeah, I know. And to be fair, the ones that I got in the X Factor has the Extinction Agenda issues in it, and so they're pretty good looking pages, and it's nice, clean stuff of the primo Jim Lee stuff. But yeah, I got to scroll back. Todd, thank you. 1,898 to go, right? I mean, thanks, Todd. Kelly Dog, are you a comic designer? If not, you should. I mean, I'm an amateur comic artist. I don't know if I'd say I'm a designer, but thank you. Chuck, Steve Rude stole the trick from you. You taught him everything he knows, right? Mello, he says it was for easy flow and it'll help the ink flow through the quill nib better, but he's also inks with the number 10 brush. I can't wait to try that. I'm going to try that. Again, thank you, Todd. Addie, thanks for stopping in if you're still there. I'm making up new characters and costumes. That's the designer I made. There we go. I have succeeded. Yeah, Chuck, as soon as I got him today, I opened him up and I flipped through the first one, the X Factor one. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And I was surprised to see all this great Silvestri, like Inferno crossover work. It looks so good. And there's some Arthur Adams in it. I'm like, okay, this is great. And I'm like, okay, now the second one. I can't wait to see this Portasio X Factor in black and white. And every fucking page in that thing is the black and white colored stuff. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Addie. Yeah, Chuck is a pros pro. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about. He's a man who's done the work for years. We are all the better to listen to him. It's really interesting to see these old school Silvestri pages where he was not doing the, for lack of a better term, quote unquote, the image comic style with the big anchor image on every page. It's just 5, 6 panel pages with just kind of basic storytelling, but it looks so good. He's so freaking unbelievable. It's like it doesn't need that big splashy image comic style for him to look incredible. It's so fantastic. The Essential Wolverine with the issues with Richard Bennett inking, gray tones. Yeah, isn't that like the last thing you want with the Richard Bennett book? You're like, I just want to see his inking, that sharp, incredible. Ugh. Damification. What ratio of black, white, and grays? What ratio do I use per page? I don't know how to answer that because I'm not sure what you mean. mean, when I draw on the page, because I just do black and white, you know, I'm not sure how to answer that question. Chuck someday hopes to live long enough to see comics produced on a print on demand basis. Then you'll be able to order them with the flat colors, modern colors, no colors. That's an interesting idea. I like that idea. I would, if I could make that kind of request, I would order so many books just straight black and white, like no color. And again, I love color. I just, but I'm like, just the artist in me wants to see so much of that stuff just in the black and white. And I would order like, yeah, can I get this issue just in the black and white, please? Yeah, Damien, I still don't know how to answer that because I don't think of anything in that kind of context at all. Like I've never even considered that. A 70-30 ratio per page. I've never ever even considered that thought. So I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. Yeah, I just try to do what makes sense for the page and the scene and the lighting and the mood and the drama and all that I'm kind of trying to look for. And I've never even been asked such a question, so I'm like, I don't know how to answer that. I don't know what to say.
He is super anxious to get a copy. He hasn't seen it yet. He has no idea who's going to be for it. Last week,
Omar Comics, hello. Mellow, no high fructose corn syrup here. All natural comic creation. I mean, kinda. It's just all real cane sugar, right? This isn't Rob Liefeld. This is Rob Norton. Why are you trying to make panels and make story make sense? I'm a crazy man. Yeah, I've got a couple of Like I started out on the stream working on this one here. Then got this one in progress here. I'd have to do a stream first. That's the hard part. We've done a couple where me and Chuck and then another buddy of ours, mutual friend Jason, Mr. Ginger Bear, and he's got the setup to kind of get us all on at the same time. Yeah, there you go. Steel Tradition, you like that Cyber Room panel? This one? Yeah, I've even got it gridded. I'm gonna have a computer panel in the background and a bunch of stuff going on in there, and you're a cyber steampunk fiend. Did I copy that? This last one? I'm just nothing but a rip-off artist. Rob broke the Image comic storytelling rule. Never show a character from the back. They always face front. That is so freaking true, and I know I call it out every time. In fact, in 2 days, new Liefeld video, Last Blood. I got my hands on, ironically, 2 copies.
From becoming costly repairs, keeping you cozy in the winter and cool in the summer takes expertise. Service experts, trained, certified, trusted.
I would say 15 to 40% on any given day could be DoorDash sales. It's actually been a lot higher than I thought it was going to be when we first started, but it's been working really well for us.
Panda, you talk about this one? Yeah, the whole idea with this guy is he's always supposed to be super intense. He's just kind of a big, dumb, loudmouth, angry, intense idiot. Panda, you watched the that Danger Girl video I did, the body shots with the was it Nick Bradshaw? Am I remembering the artist right? Yeah, he's amazing, but it's just the series doesn't feel the same without Campbell doing it. Front-facing character pages are easier to sell on the original market, and half the newer artists could portray realistic back muscles to save their lives. Steel tradition, like Tweak on South Park, kinda. He's like very intense all the time. Back muscles are tricky. Try to just get like the basic shapes down right, and at least. But yeah. It's always stuck with me ever since those days of Wizard when Bart Sears was doing that Brutes and Babes, and he was doing the whole anatomy portion. He's like, so many artists don't know how to do back muscles, and it's a greatly underutilized muscle group. Damification. The art's getting wrapped up on the Dick in a Jar book. It's real close. Chuck has been killing it, and everything he sends me is just looking freaking fantastic. And I'm pretty excited to let people see it. I've got issue 4 of Youngblood on the way. I've ordered it from Liefeld's freaking webpage. Can't wait to see what that one's going to be like. Yeah, Gargoyles music in the background. No, Todd, I have not found those pages. I did find a vacuum at work that would be perfect for this, but I wasn't going to spend money on it. But I did find one. Just a little tiny handheld vacuum that just sucks up stuff and interchangeable pieces. I was like, this is exactly what everyone was shitting on me for the other day, saying that I should get this. Like, here it is. It showed up. It manifested. You did raise me money. You did. Yeah, Chuck. Everyone wants a piece of Chuck. You're the man with the plan, Chuck. You're the guy. You're the star. I'm just some loudmouth internet asshole. You're the actual guy with like knowledge and skill and history and charm and talent and big penis. Probably. I have none of those things. I just have consistency to put my stupidity in front of people's faces often. You gave a starving artist money? Chuck, steak. I have personality. Chuck is the hottie, but I have personality. That's I don't know about that, but I'll take it. Mr. Pritchard. Chuck did put a lot of love into those wieners in jars. He did. I have evidence. I have proof of highly detailed jar dicks. Chuck, you you have a hunch on what might have inspired some of that detail? Omer, I it depends. I've been kind of I've slowed down because I finished penciling the book, and then I've been just kind of doing pinups and fun stuff for myself. And I like I was saying earlier, I've been needing to like get back onto drawing actual pages, which is what these are. I was saying earlier that I've been having kind of a struggle getting the kind of just getting the motor running again. But when I was doing my fan comic, my He-Man fan comic, the last issue last year, I was producing about 4 pages a week. There was a week or two there on occasion where I was roughly producing a page a day. I was really flying, but then by the end I was like super burned out and tired and stuff was suffering. But when I get going and get on a roll, and there's no life events distracting me or screwing me up, you know, I can get about 4 pages a week, 4 or 5. Now, whether they're any good is a whole separate issue. But yeah, I seem to be able to work relatively quickly. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I'm getting. Like, I'm getting back to the way I've been doing stuff before. Like, if I could get these pages started like this and get going, like this page here, and then this page follows it, and then this page after that, and then I can just start doing the light boxing. I can start cranking out pages pretty fast. So, yeah. Chuck guessing that if I had the entire day to draw every day, I'd probably be a solid 2-page a day guy. I mean, it's not impossible to imagine. I never would have thought that. And obviously, if you put complicated shit in front of me that takes a lot of time that I'm not good at, I would obviously slow down. Like, I couldn't imagine a more tedious thing for me to draw than, like, here's a team of superheroes fighting in the middle of New York City streets with exploding cars and like regular pedestrian people. So you have to draw skyscrapers and vehicles, and I would come to a screeching halt. So, but if I could get my skill sets good. Yeah, Omer, that's usually my whole thing. I've shown these before. I don't know if you've seen them. Let me move a few things here. God, I can't. Shit. The reason I was able to blast through the He-Man stuff so fast is because I do things like these. If you can see all this stuff here, I literally like I've thumbnailed out the entire story all the way to the end. So I would do these little flip book things. Like, there was a chapter, a scene in the book. So I'd put out do the pages and just do all the layouts like this. And then I just draw them in order, and then I'd staple them together and have an entire chapter of the book stapled together like this. Or sometimes it's like this, where I would write down like the basic plot, just get it out of my head and onto paper, and then use this and then draw the same kind of, layouts all the way to the end. So I try to get that part out of the way. I try to do this first. And if you get this done, because this is where you have to stop and think, really. And then if you can get that done, you could start busting out finished pages a lot quicker, in my opinion, or at least in my experience, because I've done all of this work. Like, God, guys, holy shit, this thing had rough time sitting where it was. But yeah, I just do all the layouts like this, just to tell the whole damn story right to the end. Anyway. Omer, just do the Liefeld method and draw squares for cities with no people. Sorry, I gotta back up. Steele, you would take my work over any Marvel book. That's extremely generous to say. I wouldn't go that far. But thank you. God damn it. Jerry Gaines. Kev, have you ever deviated majorly from the plan? I have. With the He-Man book, I had the story. If you're talking about those thumbnails, I've had those completed actually a couple years in advance. For various reasons. I mean, I sat down for a long stretch and I just laid out the entire story from beginning to all the way to the end of all 6 graphic novels. It was crazy. But by the time I got to the end of the last book, the story started changing and I started deviating and varying things. So the basic idea stayed, but the page layouts and the story beats changed significantly. And so, yeah, I did make adjustments on the way, which is why I kind of like to I don't write a solid script, like a full script for the book. Like it's page 1, panel 1, it's these exact words and this exact panel. Fuck that noise. I like to have the ability to be fluid in the art and make adjustments as I go. Thanks, Chuck. Thanks for stopping in, man. Yeah, Mello, that's really cool. Behind the scenes. Yeah, Mello. Yeah, I do those things. I've got a stack of them you saw. And again, like I said, they're a couple of years old. I spent a big chunk of time when my marriage was falling apart and I was not drawing because I was trying to focus on that. But I would take the time to break down my story for future stuff. So I wasn't drawing pages, but I was doing the layouts for the whole story, like all that type of stuff. That's how I was able to get so far ahead of it. And it worked out great for me. I'm like, all right, if I want to get going quickly, I just got to have all the pages kind of laid out visually, and then you can make adjustments as you want to go. Steel traditional art. Have you seen what they publish now? Are you talking about Marvel and stuff? I don't seem to see much anything interesting coming from Marvel, and maybe that's your point. Yeah, Omer, that I've said before, not to repeat myself, but when I moved out and moved into this place because my marriage was over, I was a miserable, sad piece of shit. And I came to this table and sat here and drew until I could not keep my eyes open any longer. And being able to sit here and make my art while I was processing the end of my marriage and not being with my kids anymore and all that insane, stupid bullshit, it kept me going, and that's when I just really started finishing the He-Man fan comic. I had most of the issues 1 and 2 done and most of 3 done. And then I just started on 4, 5, and 6, and it's just like, just go, just draw until I can't keep my eyes open, and then go to sleep, get up and go to work, come home, and then draw until I can't keep my eyes open. Kept me sane. And yeah, Omar, honestly, that is true. I didn't do it for a while, but my friend Jessica kept telling me that I should just do a channel. She kept saying I should do art instruction stuff on a YouTube channel, but she kept kind of pushing me. And then I watched the Cartoonist Kayfabe guys and just kind of inspired by them. But I'm like, I'll never be as interesting as them. And I never will. That's not the point. But but they're just talking about comics, and I'm just going to turn on the camera and let's just start talking too. Let's just start yapping. And the net benefit from just deciding to start doing it, the people I've met, like most of you in here, I go back here and I'm like, Omer, Steel Traditional Art, Chuck, obviously, Mello, Kev, Jerry Gaines, like all of you guys, I think of you as like friends. You know what I mean? It's internet friends, but I get to sit and draw and talk with you guys and share on social media, and we cross over in each other's channels and art, and formed a little community, and it's freaking amazing. It's really awesome. It's kind of something that I never imagined would ever happen or even was looking for, but here we are. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. So I'm glad I started it. I'm glad it's working. The kind of professional connections that it's yielded has been ridiculously awesome. Yeah, it's a bizarre experience, but it's crazy. It's fun. Yeah. I've been able to chat with several professional guys, had comments on my videos from several others. Like, this is crazy. Like, how the hell did how did this happen? This is amazing. Sanity is just a more manageable level of insanity. I like that. I should write that down. Cro-Magnon, how's it going? Look how well it went for the key. And the other guy went, what? Crappy times in the past, fun times in the future. Yes. Yeah, and Omer, we learned about the Windex trick tonight, for real. I'm like, I gotta just start asking Chuck more directly. He doesn't keep any information to himself. He's like happy to share. I just don't think of this stupid shit. There's also part of me that kind of like doesn't want to pester the guy, but that I'm sure he'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? We've interacted quite significantly for a couple of years now. Like, fucking grow up, Rob, which I should. No, Liefeld has never commented on anything I've ever done. That would kind of be the ultimate like victory, to have him be like chime in on one of my videos and say fuck you. I'd be like, yes, he did it, got him. I did post up I did a kind of a redraw a couple of years ago of a cover he did of Glory and Evangeline standing back to back, and I kind of did a redraw of it, and he saw it and he liked it. That was a couple of years ago before I ever did the channel, so that was wild. But I don't expect him to ever say anything about my channel because I think he's smart enough to know that all he can do is send attention my way. If he was to shout it out, like, hey, there's this fat, stupid asshole online talking shit about my work all the time, all he would do is send eyes my way. And I think he's smart enough to know he doesn't want to do that. So he just ignores it. But that's my guess. Yeah, Mello. Yeah, I've actually got to be done too. I've got to get something cooked up for tomorrow, and then I got to get my happy ass to bed as much as I don't want to, because it just means I'm going to work again soon, and I do not want to go to work. I've got bosses that fucking drive me insane, but gotta have that regular job because the art ain't paying the bills. The art is paying the emotional bills. If that makes sense. It's emotionally satisfying big time, but yeah, shotgun scream. Keep drawing for another 4 hours. Jerry, are all the pictures the same character? Are you talking about on this thing here? Oh. No, these are all 4 different people in different panels. So these guys group together. They have to. They're like, all right, we got to go do this thing, and everyone's going to listen to me. I'm the guy in charge. I'm the leader of the group. And they're like, yeah, you're kind of the worst of the group. And so he gets in their face and literally says, shut your bitch, shut your yap. And then on this top panel, there's going to be like a teleportation portal opening that they're walking through. And then in these 4 panels, there's going to be like a bright white, heavily shadowed vortex that they're going through. I'm going to put their names: Kill Snap, War Whore, Laser Fag, Tumor, just on there to kind of give their names. So it's all separate panels with these separate guys. Yeah, my ass is hurting sitting on this uncomfortable chair. It's been almost 2 hours, but I was here about an hour before I started recording anyway. So, I got to get my ass up. But yeah, thanks, guys. As always, appreciate all of you. Everyone who's here, everyone who's hangs out and makes me feel special. I'm not special, but you guys make me feel special. My man, Kev, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it very, very, very much. You guys are all the reasons I touch myself at night. Now go to sleep with that thought. Later, guys.